What's going on, guys? Staying90 here. In this video I want to do something different. This is going to be my top 5 underrated skills. I don't see a lot of people use these. They're not the most top tier DPS, 40k, whatever. But there's some interesting skills to use while leveling and fun to use every now and then on some normal dungeons. The skills that's been forgotten about. These aren't going to be class specific like Templar abilities. That way we can all keep them so every class can use them. Anyways, I'll start with, we are going to go the Undaunted skill, Necrotic Orb. It actually does quite a bit of AoE damage. Like when I pop this on my healer here, it does almost 10,000 worth of AoE damage. Plus it does 1,000 damage to nearby enemies as it floats around. And it restores magic to whoever activates the synergy. So let's swap it on here, and let's see what it does. We're just going to hit this betting edge. Now you can shoot out as many as you want, and an ally can go up to it and activate the synergy. As you can see there, it does a decent amount of single target damage. But if you're in a mobile fight, there's a boss that spawns a lot of ads, and then when your allies activate the synergy, it will explode. And they also get magic back. Now what's also interesting with this skill is we can go here and we can morph it. On the energy orb, it heals when it explodes, so if an ally activates it, they can heal plus restore 1% of their magicka over 10 seconds. Now this might go up as the skill levels, or if you choose the Mystic Orb, it instantly restores magicka instead of restoring it over time. Nice to run, especially in trials, giving them that magic back. The Mystic Orb will look the same, but just to show you, I actually run this sometimes on my healer. Now the orbs are gold, and they will heal. This is very useful to run in trials or a very mobile fight. So if someone is over there, you just shoot the ball to them, they can activate it and get the instant heal. Alright guys, next up, Trapping Webs. Hurl strands of spider snow to ensnare your foes, reducing movement speed of enemies in the target area by 50%. After 5 seconds, the webs burst into venom, dealing 2400 poison damage to enemies within. Allies can activate Spawn Bridling's synergy against the snared enemy, dealing poison damage to them and summoning 2 spiders for 15 seconds. Now keep in mind the poison damage isn't that high, nor is that, the second poison damage that high. But this is a magic-based character, so if you have a stand-based character, these numbers are going to be much higher, because they're going to be scaled off max stamina. Now we can morph it, and we can activate more powerful Black Widow spiders, which deal additional damage over time, or we can morph it the other way, and when the allies activate synergy, it will fear the enemy. So we'll just morph it to here to Shadow Silk. Equip it first. And we'll just show y'all what that looks like. Alright, so here's Trapping Webs. We're just gonna put it there. And you can see the little horvers. Now if allies will activate that synergy, 2 Black Widow spiders will pop up. And also keep in mind the damage is going to be much higher if you are stand-based. Okay, next up guys, we have the Fire Rune. Not extremely useful, but worth running sometimes. You will inscribe a rune of cosmic fire on the earth that blasts an enemy for entering the target area for 5,300 flame damage. Now that's not that much damage, but look at the duration, 36 seconds. That's down for a long time. So if you're in a mobile fight, you can just set it down, walk away, attack this guy, set it down. It'll stay down for 35 seconds. Now let's morph it and see what the morph is. Fire rune. We can morph it to volcanic rune, and this, when the target steps into the rune, he will be exploded into the air, doing the same amount of damage. Now this one, enemies also take additional flame damage over time, or volcanic rune. Now some of you might remember running this in PvP back in the days. So let's see if we can find an enemy to show you what volcanic rune looks like. Get his attention. Now he's gonna walk into that because he's an NPC. Boom! Now that was pretty cool. Not a ton of damage, but worth running while you're leveling. Just, you know, different skills to use every now and then. Break up this ESO meta. Circle of Protection. I don't see a lot of people run this. This is actually a very good skill. Skill does. As we're going to brand the earth at your target location with a rune of protection. Allies in this circle will gain minor protection and minor endurance. It's going to reduce damage taken by 8%. Not flame damage, not shock damage. It reduces all damage taken by 8%. And increases your stamina recovery by 10%. This skill is actually a very nice skill to use. Now let's see what we'll do if we morph it. Turn undead. Now when we put this down, it's going to fear undead, werewolves, and Daedra on cast, increasing duration of the circle. Now undead would include zombies, vampires, you know, all that stuff. And the other morph would be reduce cost of roll dodge for allies in the ring. So essentially allies standing in this ring are going to reducing the roll cost by 20%. That doesn't seem very useful, so I would go with this, Turn Undead. Now this one's pretty cool. You'll slam that down, and since we morphed it, now any Daedra, depending on which dungeon you're running, 90% of the dungeons in this game are going to have Daedra, Undead, Werewolves, whatever. Now all damage that you take and all your allies is reduced by 8%. 8% might not seem like a lot, but here, we'll show you. First, I'm not going to put the circle on. Let's hit this guy, let him hit me. 3,674, 735, come on. Just a common 735, hit me heavy. Alright, boom. Another 3,600. Now, I'm going to put down the circle and let's see how much the damage is reduced. Now only taking 600 damage. Here goes a heavy attack. Down to 33. Obviously, the bigger the attack, the more damage it's going to reduce. Alright guys, next up we have Silver Bolts. This isn't a very powerful one, but it casts instant and it doesn't really cost that much stamina. So if you're, obviously, you know, once again, this is going to be based off your max stamina. So the damage is really low for me right now because I'm on my magic-based Templar. So anyways, what this does is it fires a crossbow bolt and it strikes an enemy for 1958 physical damage and reduce their movement speed by 40% for 6 seconds. Now what's cool is when we morph it, Silver Shards, now this thing can do more like a spread, and it can hit 5 additional enemies, but it slightly reduces the damage. But this one's cool. This deals more damage, and when you activate it again, it pulls the target to you. Now this is, see also when it pulls it to you, it deals an additional 1711 physical damage. It pulls you toward the target, not the target toward you. So essentially, if you are a melee-based stam character, which I think that's the common meta going around right now for stam characters, this is actually a pretty cool thing. So we're going to shoot the target, shoot it again, it pulls us to, and then you can charge in with the flurry or wrecking blow, you know, whatever you got going on right now. So actually a very useful skill, and surprisingly, not many are using it. And last but not least, yes, Magic of Detonation. Now I know a lot of people have used this before, But since they've nerfed the single target damage of this, I haven't seen a lot of people use it, and actually it's still quite useful, especially if you're running into trash mobs in veteran dungeons, where they got loads of health for no fucking reason. So we can morph this to an edible detonation. So if a target tries to remove the bomb early, the explosion is triggered immediately. With a cast time, with a cast time of 1.8 seconds. This takes a very long time to cast. I would not recommend this morph. Or we go down to proximity detonation. Now the bomb is placed on you, and the cast becomes instant, so after 8 seconds. So we can put this on, and this is a magic, so it's going to be based off your max magic. So if you're a stamp character, the damage isn't going to be that high. But you know, you got good old Steel Tornado. So essentially what we're going to do with proximity detonation is all of our group members are going to put all their buffs up, you know, whatever. And then we're going to apply the proximity detonation. And by the time we charge into the mob with a heavy attack, our bomb will go off. Boom. And keep in mind that, you know, the more enemies, the more damage this thing does. See, with an exploding radius of damage of 25%, up to a maximum of 250% additional damage. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, or if you want to see more series like this with weapon skills or, you know, light armor skills, maybe my top 5 ultimates, let me know in the comments below. And as always, we'll see you next time. Peace out.